Hi guys, I'm Kate Hula and this is my Module 5 Continuous Improvement Plan for AEP 858. Where are we now? One thing that I want to start off with is that every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of the connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. This is a quote by Rita Pearson. I really like this quote because, as you can tell, our students, we have about 80% that are economically disadvantaged, which means that they are free and reduced lunch. We only have about 20% that don't struggle financially at home. We also have a lot of English language learners. We have 26%, where the state only has about 10%, which means that they have their own struggles. So it's really important for us as educators at our school, which is a Title I school, to be aware of the struggles that our students have and help them understand that, they can be the best that they can be, and we can push them and help them understand how they can do that, how they can handle frustrations and be able to push past them. So looking at where we are now, we did decrease the amount of students in Level 1 for reading by about 8%, which is great. And we were even with the district in 2019 last year. We're still below the state in how many students are in Level 2 and Level 3, so that's an area that we want to improve on. However, in math, we had an increase of about 5% of students in Level 1 from our year before. We still have less students in Level 1 than the district did overall, but it's still an area that we need to kind of look at and see what we can do to improve. So where do we want to be? Well, we would like to kind of continue to push all of our students from Level 1 to Level 2 and so forth, to kind of see how many students we can push up to that Level 3 area, which would be our goal. So we would want to, for reading, to get closer to the state's scores for Level 1 and Level 2 and Level 3, because we did decrease so far and we are even with the district, so we want to keep trying to get closer to the state numbers. For math, we want to try to get back to where we were the previous year in 2018, since we did have an increase of students in Level 1. And we want to just, like I said earlier, continue to push those Level 1 to Level 2 students. A similar school in our district, who is also a Title I school, they only had about 22% of their students in Level 1. So that's an area that we need to see kind of what they did to kind of help us push our kids to be less than 22% as well. But first, we need to try to get back to where we were in the year before. So how did we get where we are now? We integrated a new math, Eureka Math, which took a lot of our focus. We kind of went away from doing math centers all the time and had a lot more trainings. Teachers had to learn a lot more information. They missed more school days. So that kind of shows why we went back a little bit. This math builds on each other. So when we have a third grader who is expected to have knowledge from skills that were taught in kindergarten and first or even second grade, they have a hard time doing that when they didn't get that information. So that was something that we knew that last year it's just a rebuilding year. It's a new curriculum. We knew that students were going to struggle, but in the end it would be worth it. Another reason why we were where we're at is that teachers just felt very overwhelmed. They had a lot of information thrown at them because not only did we have a new math series, we also had some new reading units that they were having to go through and a lot of trainings that they had to go to as well. So how are we going to get where we want to be? Well, we're going to have to keep building strong relationships with our students, because sometimes, like this quote says, sometimes the thing your student needs the most right now has nothing to do with what's on your lesson plan. They need to feel loved and safe and know that they are in an area where people care about them. So that's something that we need to continue to do. We also need to be focusing more on progress monitoring, that one-on-one with math centers and reading centers, to really still push those students to see what areas they're doing really well in and what areas we need to focus on. We need to continue to go over the data with our coworkers, so like your team members, your coaches, your PLC coaches, to really see what is working and what's not working. But we also need to go a step further than that and talk to teachers and administrators in other schools within our district or maybe outside of our district, to see what they're doing to help their students be successful. Like that school in our district that only had 22% in level 1, that would be a school that we should probably talk to because they have a lot of similar personnel than us, so we can kind of bounce ideas off of them. So is what we're doing making a difference? Yes, it is. We're building those relationships. We're starting to see students' academics improve, like with our reading scores. So we just have to keep pushing. The percentages of level 1 in reading is decreasing, and then our MAP scores have improved, even though we have a new math. Another way that we know that what we're doing matters is that there's a true story about our school. There's a student who went to our school from kindergarten to all the way up to 3rd grade. He moved outside of our school zone, our school level lines, and so we had to go to a new school in our district. And he was having a hard time adjusting, and he really missed all the staff at our school because he just felt so loved and he felt cared for, and he's a really shy kid. So it's kind of hard for him to kind of make those relationships at first, that he asked his mom to come on parent-teacher conferences night and just come see everyone again. And so that was just something that really made you realize that you really are making a difference in those kids' lives. So that is my presentation, and I hope you learned a lot of good information. Thank you.